Shalom. All praises, honor, and glory going to Yahweh Vashem Yahushai, Vashem Karkadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations to all you occupants out there pushing this truth with all honesty and sincerity by way of the highways and byways, going down the streets teaching and preaching. Also by way of the internet. Shalom to you, Arkwaf. Alright, just out there listening and learning. You very few sisters that's out there listening and learning. We're going back to the names, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father name, which means He is or He exists. His name is not Jehovah, it's not Allah, not God, not none of that. It is Yahweh, again, which means He is or He exists. Bahashem means coming in the name, what the world ignorantly calls JC or Jesus Christ. His name is not Jesus Christ. All right, it's not Jesus Christos, it's not Yeshua, it's not Yehoshua, it's not Yeshaya, it's not Ashaya. All right, it's not none of that. It is Yahweh Shai, okay, which means He saves or He delivers. All right, so He is the Savior or He is the deliverer. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites, God's chosen people of the Bible. All right, this is your brother Nayap, and I'm back with another lesson. So, I'm trying to think what I kind of wanted to go into, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is saving this one lesson because it's a little longer. Maybe for tomorrow or something like that. Or later on today. Well, basically later on today. So I'm probably going to do this other lesson. But we're going to be going into basically what you just seen on the screen. All right. Let me go to... All right. This right here. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the sorceries and the devices and social media that Esau Edom uses, to control the mass of people. All right, so we're going to be talking about basically the sorceries, all right, of those in power. All right, so last thing you want to do is become gullible. Let me get that word right quick. If I know how to, I don't even know how to spell it, but we gonna see. Oh, I spelled it right. Wow. Gullible. Easily duped or cheated. All right, you don't want to be easily duped or cheated. All right. By Esau Edom and what he has going on in this world on social media. All right, everything that you see on TikTok. All right, the music. All right, all that. Let me get another tab. So yeah, you don't wanna, because you pay attention to everything is controlled by the blue and white now. All right, so matter of fact, let me see. First, I want to get this. All right. So the people that control this is these people. All right. These people. All right. That's why I be saying the blue and white. All right. The fake J's, they control this, the algorithm of what is and what isn't on social media. A lot of the things that's going on with the protests and stuff like that, it's not being shown a lot on social media. I say for the past years, a lot of censorship been going on, but especially this past 3 months, it's gotten ridiculous. The monetization is crazy. All right, but yeah, you don't want to fall for what Esau Edom got going on. All right, one of the things that he has in the physical, on the physical side of things, is that when kids go to school, they have to pledge allegiance to Israel now. All right, which is uh, let me put in this. To It says reports that students are required to pledge allegiance to Israel are unfound. That's what they saying, but it's all over social media again. Um, they about to start implementing new things, like they starting to have the blue and white commercials. Okay, they having blue and white commercials. Um, you know, it's a lot of things that's going on compared to what they make it seem like everything peaches and cream and stuff like that. Like, but it's not. Okay, like for instance, the things that's going down in Portland, Oregon, Chicago. I got a little article. I believe. Let me see. No, this is about the digital. That's about digital ID. Um, Let me go back because I might have it in here still, or not. Let me type in this. No. Yeah, here we go. All right. So it was an article I was looking at earlier. It was this one. It was from CNN. It says 30 people arrested and American kids separated from parents after ICE raid at Chicago apartments. All right. So they got, while you got all these stories that's going on with Candace Owens, got the protests, you got UFC, you had the boxing, you got more pew pews, right? A lot of people getting unalived. Um, the news, um, just putting up a whole bunch of shit to block you away from the truth. While they're doing all that, they're implementing, as I just showed you, digital price tags. All right, they're making a whole new system and stuff like that. All right, they're trying to keep you distracted. All right, while they do their thing in the background. All right, it said, I'll read a little bit of this article, then we're going to go into the scriptures. But it says, adults and children alike were pulled from their Chicago apartments crying and screaming during a large overnight raid that has left tenants and neighbors shaken. This is a quote from somebody. It says, I've been on military bases for a good portion of my life, said Daryl Ballard, or Ballard, who lives in the building next door. And the activity I saw, it was an invasion. Okay. It says, Ballard recalls seeing residents detained outside the building for hours after seeing a Black Hawk helicopter flying over the 5-story building in the city's South Shore neighborhood, and military-sized vehicles and agents filling the parking lot early Tuesday morning. All right, and they still out there. I just seen the video. ICE is out there, and Trump just officially just sent the military out there from Texas, and he's sending the National Guard from Texas to Chicago and Portland, I believe. You'll have to fact check me on that one, or it's on my page. on my YouTube page. So it's a lot of stuff that's going on. All right, but you gotta stay focused though, because remember this devil, a lot of the raids and stuff that's going on, it's not being televised. All right, so you know, just gotta beware of them type of things. So let's go ahead and get into some of these scriptures. Let me see. And I ain't gonna be too long. All right. This is Psalms chapter 17, verse 13. It says, Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right. As you, like what I said, it's a lot of ice raids going on. All right. But on the media, all right, now these hands that you see right here, imagine that's the blue and white people. All right. That's them. And one of them strings is social media. All right. And off of one of them strings, you got many different people that's off of that one string that that they manage over. All right. And they uh, let you know who's pushing out the social media and who's not. All right. I wanted to put in this. I put in Israel now owns TikTok. They probably gonna say something else. Of course they do. You will never find the news on this. It says new U.S. TikTok owner found. Let me see. Pro-Israel groups have ramped up their attacks on the app, leading to the new U.S. ownership away from the Chinese of an ex. Hold on. U.S. TikTok founder Tony Blair and ensure Marco Rubio's loyalty to Israel, reports. But yeah, they basically got a I don't know why they ain't saying it. It says Larry Ellison, the executive chairman of multinational tech from Oracle, which now partly owns the U.S. operations of social media app TikTok. It says had inquired about Rubio's level of support for Israel in a series of emails sent to the then Israeli ambassador to the United States, Ram Prosor. All right, so you can see that these blue and white people was behind, and not only this, but they behind Fox News, ABC. All right, I think they own ABC now. So a lot of the things that's going on with Israel, all right, or the blue and white, right, now controls everything over here. But I mean, well, it's basically been like that. But people are starting to wake up and actually see it. I don't know why it took them so long, but anyway, let me go back to the scripture. Psalms 17 and 13. It says, Arise, O Lord, Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. And like what I was saying, in Chicago, Portland, Cali, all right, all them ice raids and stuff like that. A lot of people end up going missing and all that. So, and they come into a state near you. You know what I'm saying? You might be with your family one day. You go to the gas station, you just never see your family again. It says, from men which are thy hand, O Lord Yahweh, from men of the world which have their portion in this life, in whose belly thou fillest with thy head treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their sustenance to their babes. That's what Esau Edom do. All right. All his wealth that he accumulated from his forefathers, from the backs of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. He just keep passing it down. And they make money with each other. It says, as for me, it says, I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake in thy likeness. And this is Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. It says, now the serpent was more substantial than any beast of the field, which the Lord Yahweh power had made. All right. It says, and he said unto the woman, yeah, hath the Most High said, Salakia. It says, he shall not eat of every tree of the garden. All right. So the serpent, all right, Satan. All right. The serpent was more substill. Let's see what the definition of substill is.
Strong's H, 6175. Arum. Arum. Second entry. Arom. Arom.
All right. It says substill, shrewd, crafty, sly. Remind me of Sly Cooper. Shrewd, sensible. All right. Crafty though. All right. Cunning, crafty. Who was a cunning hunter? Esau Edom. There you go, right there. Crafty though. All right. Crafty. See if we got a regular definition. Ooh. Did I spell that wrong? I did. No, that's subtotal. But yeah, going back to here. When you go to the word, all right, subtil, yeah. Why ain't work last time? Why ain't work last time? The fuck? I guess they ain't put it in there like that. All right, but yeah, though. So it just goes into crafty. All right, prudent, crafty. It says of serpent. All right, prudent man, shrewd or sensible man. All right, let me grab this as well. This is Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. Yeah, Khan. It says, the Lord Yahweh have made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. All right, we see the days that we in at what Esau Edom getting into. You know, he going crazy since his kingdom is falling. All right, he's starting to bug out against his own people. You know, a house divided cannot stand. Okay, let me get this though. This is 2nd Ezra 7 and 9. It says, if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? All right, grab this in Daniel. gotta be wise, man, because even like the lessons and stuff like that. That's why I try to do as much fact checking as I can. You know what I'm saying, before I even read putting something out, because you don't want to put out the wrong information. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things is, man, a lot of things being on hush mode. You know what I'm saying? That's why we tell you all these things, but it's true. In a minute they just gonna shut down the internet. It's gonna be too much. See, they gonna, they end up shutting it down, or you know, you may not be able to have access to it if you don't got the MOTB. Things are getting real out here, and this devil moving fast, bruh. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool though. You know what I'm saying? That's good for us. All right. This is Daniel 3:8. It says, "Wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews." It says, "They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, has made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, all right, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, or chimer," it says, "and all kinds of music shall fall down and worship the golden image." It says, and whoso falleth not down and worship, that he also be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. It says, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. All right, and you got in the same thing today. All right, you gotta think about it. All right, from these school systems to the job that you work to the media platform that you be on, this devil controls everything. All right, he wants you to be a part of this system. He wants you to worship that. All right, he like you being a part of this system that you have no way out. All right, your only hope is him to help you. That's your only hope. All right, that's how this devil got it. All right, that's why I was showing you again with this photo, or with these photos, right? It just is what it is. All right, it's like the master, like a manipulator, right? Like a master manipulator. All right, make it look like this, make it look like that. You seen what happened over there in GAZA, all right? They over there got Greta Thornburg, or whatever her name is, the slow looking one. All right, she is hella fucking unattractive, man. That is a hideous looking motherfucker. But they got her Edomite ass over there, so-called white lady over there. They making her, all right, kiss the blue and white flag. All right, and allegedly she's getting tortured. You can go look it up right now, or I can look it up for you. All right, give me 2 seconds. But they not gonna show that part. All right. I know they probably gonna. It says celebrity activist Greta Thunberg being held in bed bug infested cell in Israel. All right. Here go another one. All right, this is things that they be putting out. It says Gaza flotilla, latest Greta Thunberg to be deported to Greece after activists alleged mistreatment by Israel. Okay, and then they go into it. Greta Thunberg will be deported to Greece. So they sending these people everywhere, man. They don't give a fuck. All right. So yeah, man, they 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 doing all that, and they gonna build over it. That's Esau plan. Esau, the blue and white plan is to take over the whole fucking world. You know what I'm saying? Just basically have everybody and bow down and kiss the ring of the blue and white, even though that never happened. But they gonna try to make it happen, as you see. You know. Grab my next one. This is Revelation chapter 18, verse 23. It says, "And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee, for thy merchants were the great men of the earth, for by the sorceries were all nations deceived." Why? Because when you look or go to images, right? Let me just go to this. Let me exit that out. All right. When you go to America, this is one of the things you see, right? You be like, oh man, that look cool. I want to go out there, or you know what I'm saying? Or people hear about America today, they always see like a whole bunch of Jakes, right? A lot of women across the planet love black men, so-called black men, right? They do. So what they do is they travel over here, all right? Get that a lot. Get that a lot. Also, they the foods. You got Jake over here. So if you got Israelites, okay, wherever the Israelites at, majority of the Israelites are, or wherever the Israelites are at, there's going to be salt on the earth. That means it's going to be swag. There's going to be flavors. It's going to be food. Okay, it's going to be beautiful women. All right, even though we in a fucked up case right now, but there's still some nice looking ass women. Right? Don't get it twisted. A lot of these bitches be fine as hell. It's just that they mental is completely out of the fucking, completely gone, man. That motherfucking in the depths of Jupiter. Okay, but a lot of people see this and the dancing, the twerking, the bitches with the big old breasts and all that. You know what I'm saying? Land of the free, they hear, and they be like, well, you know, I gotta go there, and then I remember this one story I heard from before. The dude didn't want to send his daughters out here. He was from a different country, and he didn't want to send his daughters out here because he was like, if I send them out there, they're going to become whores. He was like, compared to me sending my sons out there, you know what I'm saying? My sons might be able to do a little something and come on back, but or do what they want to do in their life. But if I send my daughters out there, they just gonna be whores, because what's promoted? Whores. All right, and they use our people to make it look like that we're the bad people. But how can we be the bad people if you colonize and take everybody's resources that you run into? All right, so you gotta think about that. All right, and this went into sorceries. So what's sorceries? All right, let me see. Sorceries. G5.
Strong's G 5331. Pharmakia. Pharmakia.
Okay. It says the use or the administering of drugs, sorceries, all right, magical arts. Okay, they do a lot of that with the AI on social media. They can use your voice. They can make you look like you said something without saying it. They can look like you doing some crazy, wicked, dirty things and you didn't do it. Okay, that's how this devil got his system right now. All right, it says the deceptions and seductions of idolatry, sorcery, witchcraft, and that's what this devil is all about. They go Bohemian Groves. You know, they do all this wild, wicked, pedophilic type shit, and they got organized pedophilic sex rings and shit. And they take all these young, allegedly, they take all these young people from beauty pageants and events and big events where large gatherings take place and shit like that. Little Tommy and little Miss go missing and shit like that. And they sell them, and I ain't telling what they do with them after that. They do whatever they want to. They can make them into, like I told y'all, how they got that island. You know, you can look it up for yourself. But allegedly, they got that island where they take experiments of people mixed with animals or vice versa or whatever the fuck, and they put it all on one island. So I ain't telling. You might see a fucking person. You might see an animal or a person. You don't know what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? And they put it over there. You know, you gotta realize, man. We in the times that this devil just, you know, he does everything this wicked. All right, everything is backwards. Everything has to be filthy and vile for him. Otherwise, he cannot. Otherwise he can't be him. Okay, and the social media, it's the biggest deception of all. You know, here you got Blue and White is saying that it's not a GON, GENOCIDE that's going over there in the GAZA, right? You say it's not that, but we all know what it is, all right? That's being deceptive, you deceiving, a deceiver, deceptions, all right? So let's get a regular definition of deceptions. And I'm gonna speed this up and we're gonna close out. Slovakia. Let me see. So deception says the act of causing someone to accept as true or valid what is false. All right, and that's what, as you can see, be net not a Jew. All right, is doing. All right, you got a lot of trickery. You know, oh, that's not the truth. It's like somebody come up to you and you looking at and you looking at their shoes and they shoes clearly got shit on them, but they like, no, they don't got shit on them. I still want to come in your house. You like, no, you can't come in my house because your shoes got shit on them. It's like, no, they don't. They're clean. You know what I'm saying? It's like when he say it's clean, it's like he wave his hands in front of you, be like, no, they're clean. No, bro, you smell like shit and your shoes is dirty. All right, go home. That's how it is, you know. So yeah, that's the definition of deception. What else? It's Proverbs 12:26. It says, "The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them." All right. The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduces them. And that's how it be. You know, that's why a brother that's in this truth, you can't be around other brothers that ain't like minded like you. You know, for too long, the motherfuckers start to rub off on you, and you know, Satan start to whisper to you, like, you know, you feel like doing this one more time, man. Type shit. It's First Maccabees, all right, chapter 1, and verse 29. It says, "And after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit." It says, "For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore, and destroyed much people of Israel." All right, that's what happens when you let this devil inside of your house or inside of your state, your land. You see what happened in South Africa. Oh my God, that's a shithole. You know, it's it's terrible. All right, wherever an Edomite go, it turns to shit. Wherever white people go, so-called white people go, it turns to shit. All right, they say that about our people, but Jake, Jake don't want to live in them fucked up ass conditions. All right, we're going through systematic oppression. Our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, are in captivity. All right, what's your fucking excuse? You run the whole fucking planet, and your people still suffering. Makes no sense. This is Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay. When you go up to verse 3, though, it says, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast. All right, they was wooed after America, and this system that America has, this this system, man, this everything that Edom has. All right, they be like, oh man, I want to be a part of that. Like, ugh, heathens. Okay. Verse 12 though, it says, Revelation 13:12, it says, and he exercised of all the power of the first beast before him, which was Rome. It says, and he causeth the earth, them which dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. All right. Now, with that remind me of Petra Jordan. What this look like? What this look like to y'all? Just a question. Now look at the pillars. Look at the pillars. Okay. Let's go to this one. See the pillars? See the pillars? This is a big ass rock. All right. This is where Esau Edom from. All right. Let me show you. That's a good one. All right. Let me show you something now. Right? I showed you that. Let me show you this. Matter of fact, yeah. Now what that look like? Now, hey, now what that look like? You see what I'm saying? Don't be deceived, man. All right, these are the same devils. All right, these are the same devils. Same devils. Same devils. Same motherfucking devils. All right. But none of y'all, but a lot of people can't see it. Y'all can probably see it, but a lot of people just can't see it. All right. Let's keep reading. Verse 13 it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying of them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, all right, which had the wound by sword and did live. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the beast, the image of the beast, all right, should be killed. All right, so Esau Edom got your ass for a death sentence if your ass ain't getting in line with his program. All right, with this whole system that he has. It says he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in his right hand or in their foreheads. All right, that's the MOTB. The digital ID is not the MOTB. It's the prelude, all right, to the MOTB. All right, but like what we said, this demon, this damn devil moving fast. All right, moving real fast. This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, which is Yahweh Shai. All right. Thought I had to sneeze. All right. So don't take the MOTB. Oops. I'm going to go to Sirach. This is Sirach or Ecclesiasticus. Sound like I had a damn stroke. Chapter 2, verse 10, it says, look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise? All right, that called upon him. All right, yeah, I can even say that for myself. All the times I have ever, called on Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's always answered back. Okay, this is Revelation chapter 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay, let me this is the Solomon chapter 2 verse 10. It says, let us oppress the poor, righteous man, let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the age. Shit, they already doing that now. That's why these devils already implemented that, you can't retire. You gotta wait extra fucking 10 to 5 to 15 years or some bullshit that you gotta retire now. Can't retire at 50 and 60 no more. You gotta retire when you're dead. Shit is crazy. Verse 11, it says, let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be worth nothing, to be nothing worth. It says, therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objective to our infamy and transgressings of our education. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahushua gets us in line. All right, we corrected by him. All right. But yeah, this social media, man, it's getting bad. Deuteronomy 5 and 33, you shall walk in the ways which the Lord Yahweh your power hath commanded you, that you may live, and that it may be well with you, and that ye may prolong your days in the land which ye shall possess. All right, that's the reason why we got laws, statutes, and commandments. All right. Second Ezra's 14 and 28. It says, hear these words, O Israel. Our fathers at the beginning were strangers in Egypt, which also represents bondage, from whence they were delivered, and received the law of life, which they kept not, which ye also have transgressed after them. All right. Another reason why we in the shithole that we in. Our forefathers was on that. A lot of them was on some shit, not following the law, statutes, and commandments. This is Hebrews chapter 8, verse 10. It says, for this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai. I will put my laws in their mind, into their mind, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. It says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, know the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest. All right. So we ain't gonna have to be teaching our brothers and sisters no more. They already gonna know. And that's upon when Yahweh Shemel Shah returns. This is Isaiah 29:9. Stay yourselves and wander. Cry ye out and cry. It says they are drunken, but not with wine. They stagger, but not with strong drink. All right. These different philosophies. That's why I said Esau, Edom, what he's going to say is that, no, the blue and white is the best people, is your best friend forever. You know, it's a lie. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. Deception. There you go. The deception right there. All right, it says that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. A liar, deceptive, deceitfulness, cunning, crafty, and dirty, and a cheater, unfair, and the low life scum of the earth. Esau, Edom's self-proclaimed white man. These other heathen nations is bad too, but not like y'all. This Matthew, y'all are the wicked. Matthew 6:21. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So if your treasure is into making a whole bunch of money and trying to survive the Esau system and being buddy and rubbing elbows with Esau and becoming a whore or a sodomite so you can get as much money as possible until you ain't famous no more, until you done being slutted out or being sodomited out, you know, unless you trying to do that, you know, Esau, you know, he always, well, until Obadiah happened, you know what I'm saying, then his ass gonna keep on doing what he do. All right, he gonna keep on being wicked. All right, so Jake, you know, for you to be a part of this system, you gotta sell out to Esau, Edom. All right, and he gonna make it. He gonna make it that it's gonna be a thin line that you really gonna have to choose, or rather, if you want to you want to eat or you want to starve. All right. All right, and social media got a lot of control of that. They gonna make it seem like that MOTB is the best thing you can ever have, and it's not. All right, it's really this. It's the exact opposite. Let me go to this so I can close. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9, verse 13. It says, and therefore be thou not curious how the ungodly shall be unpunished, and when, but inquire how the righteous shall be saved, whose the world is, and for whom the world is created. All right. So don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the shenanigans, whatever you want to call it. All right. Because the news sources, you're going to have to start looking them up on your own. You know what I'm saying? Really trying to deep dive into the information. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just trusting, you know, I would hope that you're just not trusting in Fox News. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't gonna monetize. They just gonna keep on monetizing these social media platforms until basically they just shut it down, or you're just not able to say anything anymore. All right, because they already coming for your rights, your First Amendment, freedom of speech. You know what I'm saying? You really didn't have the freedom to speak anything against the blue and white, really. All right, but that's why you got the prophets. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai, Until next time, Shalom.